steel. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Ritesh ji. Please come.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first commodity-specific session, which is just after the inaugural session. I request all of you to please take your seats. We have a very, very interesting lineup of panelists and speakers over here. I would now like to start calling all of my panelists one by one. And as they say, ladies first. First of all, I'd like to call on stage Ms. Chalakonda Vidisha, Member Secretary, MTD5, Bureau of Indian Standards. Ma'am, please come on stage. Next, I'd like to call my dear friend and an amazing person, Mr. Hughes Van Cleef, Commercial Director, Oryx Stainless Group, Netherlands. Mr. Hughes, please come. Oh, you have the videos playing. So sorry. Okay. So can we have the AVs? Yeah. Welcome, welcome. Please, welcome, ma'am. Next, I'd like to call on stage Mr. Ved Prakash Lata, Senior Board Member and Director, Gemcomp Recyclings and Gemini Corporation. Ved Prakash ji. Nihal, can we have Ved Prakash ji? He was here only, I think. Okay, yes, please come, Ved Prakash ji. Next, we have Mr. Vishal Vadhwa, DGM Sourcing, Jindal Stainless Limited. Vishal ji, please. Welcome, sir. And lastly, I'd like to call the session chairman, Shri Vinod Kumar Tripathi ji, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Steel. Sir, please. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in Jaipur. Jaipur is the pink city. So the city is pink, but you know the steel which we make is totally blue and white. That's why our steel is called as stainless steel. We are very, very proud to be representing a very burgeoning and growing stainless steel industry in India. And we are confident that as the Indian economy grows and aims to reach $40 trillion by the year 2047, stainless steel is one material which is going to play a very crucial role in the growth of economy and industries in general. This particular session on stainless steel will focus on life cycle and recycling of stainless steel. Globally, the stainless steel production is at 60 million tons per annum, and the market is valued at about $150 billion. This is expected to reach to $255 to $280 billion at a compounded annual growth rate of 7 to 10% by the years 2030 to 34. Asia Pacific, led by China, India, and Indonesia, constitute a very big chunk of this market. Now, without getting too much into numbers and statistics, I would now like to call our first speaker of this session, Shri Vinod Kumar Tripathi ji. Sir, kindly guide us with your august presence and set the tone for this session. Sir, please. Oh, okay. Yes, you can use that mic.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me here. Stainless steel is alloy steel. A lot have been said about the recycling, and it becomes more important in case of stainless steel, particularly when alloying material, that is nickel and chromium, which is not mined in India, and we are almost wholly dependent on the import. So stainless steel will become slowly more important as we go for its structural use. At present, it is costlier, so we do not, we are not able to take the structural advantage of it. And in coastal area where corrosion is a big problem for the ordinary steel, there this stainless steel can become a game changer for structural constructions. Recently, around a year back, there was an accident in Mumbai, and that was collapse of overbridge, and that was totally because of the salinity in the air in the coastal area that accelerated the corrosion part, and before the end of life, that bridge collapsed. So that corrosion can be eliminated by the stainless steel. The once the nation prospers, we will move on the stainless steel for the structural use also as well. And in some coastal area, some of the government agencies have already mandated its use. And as far as its growth is concerned, our moderator told around 7 to 10%, but I doubt, because ordinary steel itself is growing in India at 12 to 13%. So stainless steel, I think the other experts are here. They can tell the number, what is the figure, but I'm sure it is much more than what ordinary steel is growing, more than maybe in range of 20% or 30%. So with the recycling part, the steel availability is in India is abundant, and with recycling the nickel and chromium we can compensate. So how much steel is being produced, the experts can tell here by recycling. I hope the figure must be around 50% or more than 50%, because the ordinary steel around 30% scrap is being used through recycling, and stainless steel the numbers should be more. So the topic is very apt for recycling of the stainless steel, and from the context of India, it is again very apt, and it is going to grow, and for economical viability as well as decarbonization, because as I said that we have to meet our net zero target by 2070. And now I request.
Hello. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, for setting the context. Sufyan, am I right here? Yeah. Is it ready? Yeah. So, sir, we have a special message from Secretary of Steel, Ministry of Steel in India, who has given us a very good pre-recorded message. I would just like to play it right now. Sufyan? Sorry? Yeah. It'll be there. So it will take some time. We can have one presentation. Okay, so let's have the message later on. I would now like to call on podium Shri Ved Prakash Lataji, Senior Board Member and Director, Gemcorp Recycling and Gemini Corporation. Sir is a global leader in recycling with over 20 years, or I think more than 25 years, I think, of experience in international trade, logistics, supply chain. He is a champion of circular economy and advocates recycling wherever he goes. And he has spoken at various forums, including World Economic Forum at Davos and international conferences. Ved Prakash ji, sir, can we have your presentation? Thank you.
Namaste, good afternoon. Can I have my slides, please? So by the time they put the slideshow on, let's just set the stage. When I was asked to give a presentation about stainless steel, I was wondering, what is it that I should speak about? Should I speak about statistics? Should I speak about challenges? Should I speak about opportunities? Who knows these things better than you people? Who can teach Gopalji, for example, about stainless steel? So what should I talk about? And I thought, I should speak about a vision. I should take us to a journey. Journey 20 years from now. A journey how the world would look like 20 years from now. How India would look like 20 years from now. Let's picture India 20 years from now. We all know these figures. I'll quickly brush through them. India is going to be, as it has been said, and I believe firmly, between 20 to 30 trillion dollar economy. If we believe what Mr. Gautam Adani said, that we are going to add $1 trillion every year to our economy in next 50 years, I believe the stock market would reach to 700,000 to 800,000 points in next 20 years. I believe India's per capita income will reach to $10,000 to $15,000 in next 20 years. I believe India will have the second largest capacity, railway capacity, in next 20 years. I believe India is going to be, if not second, the third largest automobile market in next 20 years. India is going to be for sure between fourth to fifth largest in aerospace market. India is going to be second in textile market, and India's steel capacity is going to reach 500 million tons from current 160 million tons. What about stainless steel? 20 years ago, the world GDP was $41 trillion. Today, we are at $110 billion. And in next 20 years, we are going to cross $200 billion. 20 years ago, India's GDP was $700 billion. Today, we are $3.8 billion. 20 years from now, if we would continue our journey over 6% growth per annum, we are going to reach easily between 25 to 30 trillion dollars. And you would be wondering why I am saying these things, why I am talking about GDP. Because stainless steel is the only metal which has grown in tandem with the growth of GDP. That means 20 years ago, when the world GDP was $40 trillion, the world was producing 20 million tons of stainless steel. Today, we are over $100 trillion economy. We are producing almost 60 million tons of stainless steel. And in next 20 years, when the world is going to cross $200 billion, we are going to cross 150 million tons of stainless steel. That means for India, we would reach easily to 25 to 30 million tons of capacity. That means 20 years from now, we would need 3 times of resources than what we are using. Currently, humanity is using 100 billion tons of raw material. 100 billion tons per year is the consumption of humanity, and in 20 years from now, we would need 300 billion tons of raw material. Imagine the scope of recycling. Scope of recycling in stainless steel world too. But would it be based purely on consumption? I believe not. It would be based on innovation. Innovation will be the driver. The world is changing so fast. Can you imagine what is this? Any guess? Anyone would like to take a guess? This is Porsche first Porsche car ever made, 140 years ago. And this was an electric vehicle. Until the turn of last century, Ford and GM needed only 6 kinds of materials to produce car. Today we need 60 types of material to produce the car. That means for stainless steel, it has to change drastically. Stainless steel will produce from now to 20 years futuristic alloys, like shape-changing alloys, which can turn to their original shape after deformation. It would produce smarter alloys like quantum alloys that can bring a revolution in medicine, energy, and computing industry. They would be producing self-healing alloys where the micro cracks in the material are sealed autonomously as the material extends its lifespan. AI will change the landscape of stainless industry. I don't have to talk much about that. But what I'm fascinated, in 20 years from now, stainless steel will be printed rather than being produced in the factories. 3D printing has already become 80,000 crore rupees market, $8 billion market, and in 20 years from now, it would reach to $100 billion market. Stainless steel will be printed, or also will be printed. The 3D printing market is growing at the rate of whooping 25% per annum, as per the report of McKinsey. 20 years from now, the new markets will emerge, new application will emerge for stainless steel. Stainless steel will be used in aerospace. For example, it might replace the ceramic tiles, advanced ceramic tiles. It means a new generation of stainless steel will be formed, and therefore a new generation of recycle will be needed, because the world is very disruptive. We are living in a world of disruption. The new world order is not going to be a complementary world. It's going to be a predator. Look at the mobility industry. What has happened? The new definitions are being created. Elon Musk is saying that we are not producing car, we are producing technologies. Starbucks is saying that we are not selling coffee, we are the largest real estate on the face of earth. Nobody knew 20 years ago what cryptocurrency means. Today, cryptocurrency market has reached to $3 trillion. And 20 years from now, crypto market would reach to $250 billion, 8 times to the size of Indian economy. This pattern of disruption also indicates that in next 20 years, the landscape for stainless steel market will change drastically. 20 years from now, next generation material like graphene, like carbon, it might replace some part of stainless steel. 3D printing, as I said, nanotechnology, it will change the market completely. Nanotechnology will make the cheaper material like steel and aluminum to perform like stainless steel. Today, it's very difficult to recycle carbon. It is carbon fiber. It is very difficult to recycle graphene. Today, carbon fiber market is only $7 billion. But in 20 years from now, it is expected to reach $58 billion market. Graphene is only $300 million market. 20 years from now, we do not know yet how much graphene might be used. It's a fantastic material, but it can't be recycled. But 20 years from now, we will have new generation recycling technology. India is going to be a major producer and consumer of stainless steel. It means the demand for raw material will be enormous. India's recycling industry and circular economy will play a pivotal role in ensuring the sustainable growth of stainless steel. Because 20 years from now, India will have its own CBAM. India will have its own Paris Accord. India will have its own climate target, because it will need to produce not only sustainable steel, it will need to produce greener steel. It will need to produce social steel. And why so? Because India will have 20 years from now its own Greta Thunbergs, and not just one, many. The coming generation will force the stakeholders to take the shared responsibility. When my son, at the age of 16 years old, refused to take any bottled water, I asked him why, and he said that I cannot help to recycle this plastic bottle, but I can help not to add extra. These are going to be our future consumers. These are going to be our future investors. They would stop investing into the companies who are not sustainable, but they would be investing into the companies who are more recycling and circular. The recycling industry 20 years from now will reach to $100 billion. And my friend, this will accelerate the circular economy at the rate we have never imagined. And for all that to happen, all the stakeholders have to sit together. 20 years from now, industry will adapt cleaner technology. It has to commit to the carbon neutrality. Government from 20 years from now, the government will make eco-friendly commercial policies where the recycling industry is promoted as the front runner. They will have to incentivize scrap industry for a sustainable collection. The carbon footprint will be part of balance sheet. It will decide the score of a company and therefore the cost of financing. They will take actions like creating micro ecosystems. And why? Because 20 years from now, India will have its own Green Party. In 24 countries around the world, there are Green Parties who are sitting in parliament and in legislative assemblies. They are part of government. Because 20 years from now, India will be a different place. Customer will have their choice. The sustainability of a product where the quotient of recycling is mentioned will dictate how much a customer would like to buy or if they would like to buy your material or not at all. Therefore, if India does not go off the track, it presents an opportunity of $625 billion circular economy as per Ellen MacArthur's Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, I totally agree what Mr. Gautam Adani said. This is the best time to be an Indian. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ved Prakashji. Amazing presentation, and what really opened my eye was stainless steel is going to get printed in future. Wow, that's a very, very thought-provoking idea. Now I would like to call on stage Mr. Hughes Van Cleef, Commercial Director, Oryx Stainless Group. Mr. Hughes is a dear friend, has master's degree from Erasmus University School. He joined Oryx straight after completing his studies in 2003, working for 4 years in the German market, and he's right now responsible for purchasing alloyed scrap in both domestic and international areas. And he's also the chairman of the Stainless Steel Committee and Board in BIR. Sir, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ritesh. One question. You mentioned two colors of stainless steel.
Yes.
Which ones?
So one is the blue.
And the other one?
Absolutely stain-free, white.
White.
Shiny.
But Mr. Pratash, you mentioned another other color. Which one I like more? And that's green.
Green.
Okay.
Green. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, IMRC, for having me as one of the speakers of today. I would like to start a little bit with who we are. I'm Joost van Kleef, MD of Oryx Stainless in the Netherlands. And yeah, who is Oryx Stainless? We are the world leading processor in raw materials that's used in the production of high quality stainless steel. We have a sales turnover of roughly 1 billion USD. It was in 2023. And the sales volumes of approximately 50,000 tons per month. We do it in 5 facilities, the headquarters in the Netherlands, one yard in Germany, another one in Barcelona, and then 2 Asian yards, one in Bangkok, and recently opened the yard in Johor Bahru in Malaysia. And the added value of the company is the volumes that we do. So every month we sell plus minus 50,000 tons stainless steel blends to the mills. And we sell quality blend, customized blend according to the mill specifications. So we guarantee for 304, for example. For 304, better? Both? For 304, we guarantee in-spec material, so 8 nickel, 18 chrome, balance iron, maximum 0.5, 0.6 copper content, depending on the specification of the mills. On top of that, we have a strong balance sheet. Furthermore, we are recognized for a scientific approach in promoting intelligent recycling. So what we do is that we voluntary and professional engagement in several industry associations, such as the MRF, Metal Recycling Federation in the Netherlands, BDSV in Germany, and what Mr. Rites already mentioned, the BIR. And since 2010, we have a dedicated scientific approach on the reputation on the reduction of the carbon footprint by recycling, stainless recycling. And our recent effort was a joint project between the Thai and German scientists for the benefit of excellence in stainless steel circular economy research. And of course, we have the Oryx newsletter. We follow a dedicated sustainability compass. And if you look at the 3 pillars, our business integrity, so we have a sustainable supply chain, and we have a high value of compliance. We take very good care of the well-being of our employees. So we introduce Western standards for the Thai and Malaysian yard workers, giving them every day a warm meal. And of course, we take good value of circularity. So that's how do you say that? Providing a safe, promoting resource conservation and responsible business practices. And looking at that, stainless is a poster boy for circularity. So if you look at the graph, you see, of course, it's well organized and regulated recycling industry, and it's a facilitator for circularity. So if you look at the graph, you see the melter production, materials coming from the earth, and that goes then to the rolling mill. After the rolling mill, part of the material goes directly back into the facility again. After that, it goes to the end-use fabrication for the production, and it goes then directly to the building industry, the transport industry of the household industry, for example. Material after that, making that material flows back to the melt shop. So that brings us to a high end-of-life recycling rate of about 95% for stainless steel, which is really, really high. Therefore, scrap is a very sought-after product. If you look at the scrap ratios and overall recycled content, it significantly increased over the past decades. So in the Western world, we saw in 2000 to 2000, we saw roughly about 40-45% of material that was recycled, and now that the usage of scrap is in the Western world, it's around 70%. In last year, Outokumpu produced even a scrap ratio rate of 95%, which is really extremely high. And that's good, very good because recycling lowers the steel carbon footprint. And we did this again with the Fraunhofer Institute. We did a study, and we see that the grain stainless steel is only possible with scrap. So if you look at the 304, the scrap, the carbon footprint of stainless steel scrap significantly lowers the carbon footprint compared to the steel production with only primary material. It's for the 300 series, 304 series, it's 7 tons CO2 reduction compared to material that's produced only by virgin material, by primary material. And for 316, it's even higher. It's 8.5 tons CO2 reduction per metric ton stainless steel produced. And where does it come from? It primarily comes from nickel, because nickel carries the largest CO2 rucksack. And if you look at the energy carbon incentives, the NPI production, it results to a high stainless steel CO2 footprint. And nowadays we see that the production of stainless steel is mostly produced in the Far East, so China and Indonesia. And unfortunately these countries produce with nickel pig iron, which has a lot of carbon footprint, CO2 footprint in it. On top of that, the mining in Indonesia is resource intensive. So the dependency on the Indonesian extensive mining brings forth additional environmental challenges. So what we see material being digged from the ground, and by doing that, it's also intrusion into the delicate rainforest. So on top of that, which is not good. So the current state for the stainless steel market in Europe, we see the green stainless steel that will be the only participant in the European stainless steel market. So it started with the transition period in 2023, and it will be in place in next year. So CBAM will initially apply directly as Scope 1 greenhouse gases emission, and indirect emissions will be automatically be included in the CBAM scope at the end of the transition period. An even more complex regulatory environment will be in place. Over the past years, the European Commission has passed either new or updated key directives, says that the regulation to ensure that the European Union does not export its waste challenges to third countries. And it will prevent illegal shipments. So the good thing is that scrap is an international commodity. And it remains, these regional and international trade remains the balancing mechanism. It's a fluid commodity and travels to where it's needed. For scrap, it remains within the region. It needs good business relations and a proper valuation and recognition of the material. And in a tight scrap segment, in 2023, it was only met by higher import volumes and so Europe has become a net importer, same as in 2024. So scrap, it mitigates the supply chain risks. So this, what we've seen the last couple of years, we see two vulnerabilities for external events. So we saw COVID-19 lockdowns and the Suez Canal diversion, which made traveling of stainless steel finished products very, very difficult, and scrap strengthens the supply chain. That's the reason why we recently opened a new yard, because if you look at the map where we are based, we have several yards in Europe, from where we supply directly to the biggest mills in Europe, but we have two yards, one in Bangkok and another one in Malaysia, and from there we can supply either to the Far East or, of course, to India, and we'd love to do that. The volumes that we're striving for is 160,000 tons over the next couple of years. And looking at the Thai yard, we see the size expanded, and we did some big investments for additional trading facilities in containers. And of course, we are ISO certified. Key takeaways for today. Scrap is the much sought after product needed in our circular economy and carbon reduction journey. A well-organized, logically optimized and regulated recycling industry is key facilitator ensuring quality and volume flows. And we as Oryx Stainless remain a reliable partner to the Indian stainless production with potential to further growth. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Finishing just in time. No, I think you brought about very, very crucial points in your presentation, that green is actually the real color of steel now, and increasingly with increasing goals and tougher norms for carbon neutrality, it's a thought in process and it's an action which is needed, where more and more companies or manufacturers should be looking at scrap as a better raw material for reducing carbon emissions. And also with CBAM and all the non-OECD country export restrictions coming from you, already we are seeing that incoming scrap shipments from you to India are getting lower and lower. And we are hoping India will get its registration done. On behalf of MRA, we have given a very conclusive reply to the relevant ministries. And we are hoping before the deadline, the ministry will submit. And when the proposal comes to Europe, we will knock on your doors through BIR to help us get those approvals. Yeah. Can you open the mic, Sufyan, please? That mic? No, he can't. Sir?
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah.
Yes, we can only hope that. So we're waiting for you.
Yeah, please. Thank you. Okay, so I would now like to call our new speaker, Ms. Chalakonda Vidisha ji, Member Secretary, MTD5, Bureau of Indian Standards. She has completed B.Tech in Metallurgical Engineering from NIT Warangal in 2018 and worked as a corrosion and inspection engineer at Reliance Industries until 2020. Very interesting. She joined BIS as Scientist Assistant Director and served as certification officer until 2024. And right now, she is member secretary for 3 sectional committees in metallurgical department. Ma'am, thank you.
Thank you, Riteshi.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to give you an update on the latest developments in standardization in the field of ferroalloys. So, Bureau of Indian Standards is the national standards body of India. And I would like to start my presentation by giving you a brief introduction on what is BIS and what is the standardization process in BIS. So, BIS has identified 17 important sectors, and these are basically the divisional councils, under which we have sectional committees and subcommittees, panels, and working groups. So we have already published around 25,000 Indian standards. Some of them are adopted from ISO, IEC, and some are indigenous. So these standards include product specifications and methods of tests, code of practices, guidelines, etc. So BIS also encourages the quality of the product by various certification schemes, and it also includes voluntary as well as mandatory certifications. By mandatory certifications, we mean the quality control orders issued by various ministries. BIS is also a part of various ISO technical committees, and BIS represents India in these technical committees. So these are the 17 divisional councils: chemical, civil, electrotechnical, electronics. So you can see we have a wide range of divisional councils. So who are the members of our sectional committee? So these I have just listed some of our stakeholders. The most important stakeholders are the industries. Most of our inputs were given by the user industries or the manufacturing industries, industry associations, as well as some laboratories, other standard developing organizations, and academy also, and research organizations. All these people were the part of our sectional committees. So this is the process, standard development process. This is similar to the international practices also. So whenever we have a new work item, it will be drafted, a working draft will be prepared, which will be circulated to the committee members, and based on the inputs of the committee members, again will modify the draft, and once it is approved in the committee, we circulate it to the wide range of people, so that is known as wide circulation draft, and again we'll take the comments from the people, and again we'll discuss it and we'll refine it further. And the final draft which is prepared by this committee will be accepted, and it will be adopted and will be published. So this is the process of the flow of standard development. So coming to the Divisional Council of Metallurgical Department, we have 21 technical committees, and you can see the aspect-wise distribution. Most of the standards in our Divisional Council are product standards, and most of these product standards were also in the QCO. And the remaining, you can see the next is the next majority is the method of tests, and we also have code of designations and other important standards. So this is the composition of the sectional committee. So it is under the divisional council, and it consists of a member secretary and stakeholders from different organizations. And this committee will be reviewed once in every 3 years. So these are the 21 sectional committees, and one of them is Ferroalloy Sectional Committee, MTD5. I must say it was originally a sectional committee, but then again merged into raw material committee, MTD13, and again in the last year we have again constituted a new sectional committee for this field. So this is the aspect ratio of ferroalloys. It includes the general ferroalloys like ferronickel, ferrosilicon, ferrotitanium, ferromolybdenum, ferrovanadium. Along with these, it also includes metallic additions also like manganese metal, silicon metal, and some other raw materials also. So all the raw materials which are used in steel industry are covered under ferroalloys. And you can see there are 28 product standards. So most of them are product standards, and we have some 2 code of practices and the sampling standards. So I would like to give the glimpse of the QCO standards which are under ferroalloys sectional committee. So you can see ferrosilicon, ferronickel, ferrochrome, ferromanganese, silicomanganese, all these QCOs were already implemented. And 2 more standards, that is ferrovanadium and ferromolybdenum, are going to be implemented from March 1st, 2025. So we are currently focusing on updating these standards. You can see ferrosilicon, it is already a latest standard only. It was published in 2023. So we have taken inputs from various international standards also. And we have tried to incorporate as many grades as possible, so that it will not be a problem to the people who are importing raw materials from other countries. So this is the basic structure of ferroalloys. It will be first there will be a definition, then we'll have a chemical composition table and sieve analysis. So this is the general structure of all the ferroalloys. So what we are updating in this standard is that we are trying to add some inoculant grades. So you might be knowing there are various inoculant elements such as barium, calcium, magnesium, aluminum, which are used for specific purposes. So, I think there is no international standard which covers these inoculant grades, because it is based on the specific application. It is not generally used. But due to QCO, people are facing issues to import these inoculant grades. That's why we have received this proposal. And there are mixed reactions to this proposal. Some people doesn't want to add these grades in the standard, because they think these are impurities, and they absolutely doesn't want this to be included in the standard. On the other hand, there are people who wants to add this. So currently this proposal is under consideration. Next is ferronickel. So we have a proposal to add a less than 15% nickel grade also in the ferronickel. Currently it is covered from 15%, and we have a representation to cover less than 15% also. So some people might pose questions like, why are we degrading the standard? Why are we lowering? But we are in the era of recycling and sustainability. So when ferronickel with less than 15% nickel, when used with SS scrap, it gives a better results. It is economical and it is good to use. It is because SS already contains certain amount of nickel, and we are only adding to meet with the requirements. So we are considering this also. It might come as an amendment. Along with this, we are currently revising ferrochrome, ferromanganese and silicomanganese. We are not changing it drastically, only few minor changes are being done. Coming to the ferrochromium, we are aligning it with ISO standard. Most of the grades will be similar to ISO, except few changes in the nitrogen content. So we are aligning it with the current industrial practices. Next is ferromanganese. Similarly, most of the grades are same. Only thing, as per the latest practices, we have removed few lower grades and we have added some new grades which are high in manganese. Coming to silicomanganese, we have actually simplified the existing standard, and most of the impurities levels and everything is almost same. And in all these standards, we have updated the testing methods also, and how to do sieve analysis, test methods for sieve analysis, all those things were also updated. Next is ferrovanadium, so which is going to be implemented from March 1st. So here also we are going for revision, and the only major thing is we are adding the contradictory analysis also. And ferromoly, similar to ferrovanadium, we are revising this standard also. So these are some of the important standards, product standards in ferroalloys. Ferrosilico, magnesium, ferrosilico zirconium, metallic silicon, these are some of the important product standards. And these are standards which are under development other than QCO standards. So finally, this is the BIS Care app. So it consists of many things which you can use for verifying the license numbers, whether it is foreign or local domestic. You can verify HYD, and there are many more options in this app. So you are requested to use this app. So that's all from my side. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your very apt presentation. So just to set the context of this presentation for all my overseas friends as well as this, the Indian government Ministry of Steel is very, very serious in augmenting the quality of stainless steel and other ferroalloys which are produced in the country. They are inviting regular discussions from us at MRAI as well as various industry participants to ensure all our standards are very much aligned to the global peers, as well as strict adherence to such standards is followed to get a role or participation in key government infrastructure projects as well as activities. So I think in last 3 years I have been also closely interacting with BIS, and I realized they are doing some stellar work, and most importantly it's all very interactive. At each meetings we are involved and we are invited. Now next up I have a small letter from Secretary Steel, Ministry of Steel, who could not be part of this conference due to some last minute parliamentary meeting. He has sent us a very positive message. Sufyan, could you please display? So this is the message. Secretary Steel Shri Sondrik Promik ji has congratulated MRAI and has appreciated the strong hard work which MRAI is putting up and the role of MRAI in realizing India's circular economy as well as missions like Mission Life. And he says that in order to meet our economic goals, we must align this growth with our commitments to environment sustainability. Scrap recycling is crucial in reducing the carbon footprints, enhancing resource efficiency, and decreasing reliance on primary raw materials. Recycling can also cut greenhouse emissions by 75%. Ministry of Steel is driving this green transition through initiatives like Greening the Steel Sector Roadmap and recently launched Green Taxonomy for India's steel sector, which will define the green steel standards, and collaborating with various stakeholders like MRAI, they will aim to promote the use of scrap and advanced technologies. So last night I was discussing with you, Mr. Hughes, that how very soon even Indian mills will be forced or will be compelled to have that green component in their steel manufacturing. Okay? Mr. Vishal from JSL is not interested. He is interested in NPI right now, right? Just kidding. He's a very dear friend. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take 30 seconds of your time to showcase this very interesting Voice of Metal Recycling magazine, which we have from MRAI. Each month, we are circulating 15,000 copies of this magazine in soft and hard copy. This has some very interesting articles on the recent developments, some very key interviews of various people and stakeholders from the industry. So I request everyone present here, you should have a subscription of this magazine, as it will give you very timely, accurate and real happenings in the Indian steel and recycling industry. Our last presenter for the day, my dear friend, Mr. Vishal Vadwa. He's DGM Sourcing from Jindal Stainless Limited. Mr. Vishal is a mechanical engineer and MBA in supply chain management, but his degrees are apart. He's a very good technical sound person in stainless steel, and even better, a commercial negotiator. Mr. Vishal.
Thank you, Riteshji. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to be here and present my views on stainless steel scenario in global as well as Indian context in front of the recycling industry stalwarts present here. So let me begin with the topics that I would be covering today. First, I would give a brief introduction of the recent developments at Jindal Stainless. Then we'll move on to the stainless steel growth trajectory, expected scrap requirement and other major raw material requirement which we feel would be coming up, and then finally moving on to the growth drivers for stainless steel in India. Now, taking up the first point, JSL has executed a three-pronged strategy to achieve its goal of 4.2 million tons of stainless steel production. This includes acquisitions, joint ventures, along with greenfield explorations and debottlenecking of the existing infrastructure. The noteworthy steps which we have taken are as follows. First being the acquisition of Chromeni rolling mill, which has a capacity of 0.6 million tons per annum. Then a joint venture in Indonesia for 1.2 million tons per annum of stainless steel melt shop. Downstream integrations of our own Jajpur unit facility, wherein we have debottlenecked the cold rolling facility, upgradation of the infrastructure facilities, and in order to support the ESG goals which we have set for our company. And finally, the specialty steel ESR furnace and forging at the mother plant, which is at Hisar. So these have been few recent developments, and a few noteworthy acquisitions which we have done are acquisitions of Rathi Super Steel and Rabiran Vinimay. Basically, traditionally JSL has been a flat product manufacturer since inception. However, with the acquisition of Rathi Super Steel and Rabiran Vinimay, we have also extended our working to the long product segment. Along with this, we have also a 49% stake in NPI manufacturing facility in Indonesia, wherein the capacity is 28,000 metric ton of nickel content per annum. Now, as Ved Prakash ji has already given a very, you can say, a very detailed growth and detailed diversification plan for stainless steel, I would just summarize that. So, effectively, these are few numbers. Now, the takeaway in these numbers is that in the year 2021-22, the global stainless steel melt shop production was 58 million tons. It went down to 55 million tons in 22-23, obviously due to the impact of Corona. Then in 23-24, it rebounded back to 58 million tons, and current till first half of 24-25, it has already crossed 30 million tons. So we expect that along with the second half of 24-25, it should be somewhere around 60 to 60.5 million tons by closing of year 24-25. So effectively, the dip which came in Corona has been made up, and now it is again moving on in a strong way ahead. Now, where would the growth in stainless steel come from? We already know the traditional sectors, which are architecture, building, construction, automobile, railway, process engineering, etc., etc. Now, along with this, there are a few new sectors which are coming up, which are particularly green energy, defense, aerospace, agriculture equipment, medical equipment, and also the overall infrastructural use of stainless steel. There are a few futuristic applications as well. A big one in it is the blue economy. Government of India is improving the port infrastructure and has already declared a Bharat Sagar Mala project, wherein the government is improving all the ports, all the port infrastructure across the Indian coastline. Now, as we all know, coastal areas are the apt application for stainless steel. Along with this, there is also a Bharat Mala project, wherein Government of India aims to interconnect 550 district headquarters from the current 300 through minimum 4-lane highways. And the building of these 4-lane highways also gives us a chance for good consumption of stainless steel. Now, a small snapshot of stainless steel flow into India. USA still remains the leading exporter to India, but at the same time, Southeast Asia is growing rapidly and increasing its share for the stainless steel scrap business in India. As already explained by my friend from Oryx, that yes, due to the trade challenges and longer lead times, few restrictions being put up by Europe, the European material has reduced significantly in last few years, I must say. But yes, that reduction has been made good by Southeast Asia. Again, coming on to the next topic, with the growth and with the new facilities which JSL has put up, where does our raw material requirement stands? So I'll just give a brief snapshot of that. So our nickel bearing raw material requirement, which primarily consists of 304 and 316 generic grades, 304 would be somewhere around 58,000 tons per annum by 3031, which is next 5 years. 316 would be 4,500 tons, and then somewhere around 3,800 to 4,000 tons of ferronickel. We would also be requiring a lot of copper bearing raw materials, which would primarily be 200 series scrap, somewhere around 6,500 tons per month, 630 grade, or which we generally call as 17.4 pH precipitation hardening grade scrap, which would be somewhere around 8,000 tons per month, and then 3,200 tons of armature scrap. So these are the major scrap baskets or the scrap requirements which we expect to come up by financial year 30-31, which is in the next 5 years. Along with that, we also have a blast furnace, and few of the requirements of blast furnace are also mentioned here. Although since this is a scrap conference, so that might not be of interest. These are a few ferroalloys requirement. And now coming on to the growth drivers for stainless steel in India, particularly in India. So as we have already, discussed, few of the government initiatives, few other general increases in the consumption of stainless steel. It is also pertinent to be mentioned that since India aims to become a 40 trillion economy in its 100th year of independence, and stainless steel as a commodity is directly correlated, has a direct correlation with the GDP growth. Currently, India remains the second largest global consumer of stainless steel, and the focus areas would remain infrastructure, construction, manufacturing and logistics, wherein the bulk of material goes. Ambitious government projects, which we have already discussed, Sagar Mala project, Bharat Mala project, rail network, metro network, Swachh Bharat Mission, Gati Shakti project, all these would definitely give a lot of emphasis for stainless steel consumption. And there will be an increase in demand for transport in terms of passenger as well as personal usage vehicles. So with these points in mind, it gives us a very clear indication that yes, stainless steel would be a promising metal for the future, as well as a metal which would help India to fight its war against corrosion. Thank you for being a patient listener.
Thank you, Vishalji. Thank you so much. Always. Your slides are filled with numbers. We have many suppliers in the audience. They were all looking at your numbers anxiously. I was looking at them anxiously. You are writing XYZ, but you are not buying anything from us. Mr. Hughes will agree, right? Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think a round of applause for all our speakers here. They've all given very good presentations, all talking about numbers and what are the recent trends. I would now like to open the house for about 10-15 minutes for open question and answer round. It's going to be a very informal round, so please feel free to ask whatever you want to ask in a short manner, and I will request our panelists to keep the reply also in short so that more and more people can participate. So anybody who wants to ask a question? Sufyan? Gopalji? Can we have the mic for Gopalji? Yes, okay. Thank you.
Hello. Wonderful presentations, everyone.
Thank you.
So I'll just go back to the data that Ved Prakashji presented and Mr. Wadhwa presented. Like the total production of stainless steel is around 60 million ton, if I'm not mistaken, in the world. And then I'll come to Mr. Yust. He talked about color of the steel. He didn't like the blue color, he didn't like the silver color, he likes the green color. For green color, we require NPI, ferronickel, in order to attain the green color. I was talking to Tripathi ji yesterday evening during the President's dinner. He was mentioning that nickel pig iron is going to be regulated and it's very difficult to import. So how the things are not matching? Like we are talking about 60 million ton to 150 million ton in the next 20 years. We don't have scrap. Things are getting localized instead of globalization. Things are getting localized. You said 95% of the production Outokumpu did was through scrap. So where are we going to get the raw material from? If nickel is not available, scrap is not available, what are we going to do? I hope the question is not very big. Yeah, please. Thank you.
It's a very specific question. You want whom to answer, sir? Anybody? Okay. So he's talking about that, NPI. Sorry, just I want to correct. What Mr. Hughes meant was NPI is anti-green, right? NPI increases the carbon, yeah. but again, his question essence is very valid. If NPI is going to be regulated, scrap is in short supply, how the stainless steel production is going to go up? Am I right? I got the essence right? Right. Okay. So, Mr. Hughes, Mr. Vishal, I'd like to have both of your comments on it. Short comments. Yes. Should be on. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll try and answer maybe partial question. Effectively, whatever scrap is there, obviously every country, every nation will try to secure its scrap for the quantity that can fetch a premium for being green. I mean to say that not every customer across India or every customer across the globe is ready to pay a premium for green steel, right? So whichever customer is ready to pay that probably should target to buy green steel, and at the same time companies should also accordingly make their product lines some quantity of green steel for the customer who can pay a premium, and the balance of the material is regular steel, maybe stainless steel, may be made up of NPI or any other grade of material. So it's not necessary that currently if 60 million tons of steel is produced, then every ton has to be green steel. This is what I mean I can think of.
Okay. Mr. Hughes?
So, yeah. So no, I'm completely agree. So it's not possible to produce only green steel, but we strive for the best possible way to make it as green as possible. So in Europe, we have the highest scrap ratios compared to other parts of the world, and we try to achieve, well, in Europe, the highest possible ratios.
So you got the clarity. Okay. Next question. I have my friend, Mr. Uday. Yeah, you have the mic. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, congratulations for a wonderful session and to educate us regarding the future of stainless steel. I was going to ask about NPI,
one
but
second,
since
one second.
Gopalji has already talked about it.
Udayji, 1 second. First, introduce yourself and what you do.
Okay,
Yes.
I am Uday Agarwal. I am coming from Bhavnagar, Gujarat. We are into processing and supply of stainless steel scrap to various mills across India. So my question is that we hear a lot of noise about anti-dumping duties on finished products of stainless steel to make the Indian stainless steel industry competitive. But of late, we are seeing that lots of intermediary products are also coming into India, products like steel billets and steel slabs, which are actually not helping the scrap business cause. Many mills have started buying steel billets and slabs instead of scrap from countries like Indonesia, where there are no duties and there are no taxes involved on those billets and slabs. So my question to the government officials sitting here is, are we thinking of putting any anti-dumping duties on the intermediary goods? So this is my question.
Anti-dumping duty comes in place when unethical dumping is being done, and that is true that the DGTR is investigating this thing, that whether dumping is being done or not. Anti-dumping will only come after the investigation of DGTR. So right now it's difficult to comment on that. But the second part which you highlighted, that intermediary products like stainless steel slab and billets are being imported. So in that I will add that one QCO has been issued which covers now the intermediary products, and that will be implemented by February, and I think Vidisha will throw light on that. After that, once it is covered in QCO, you can import only after getting NOC from the Ministry of Steel, and Ministry of Steel is very strict in giving the NOC for the product where QCO has been issued. So you have to rely on the scrap as well as on the mineral part. You can import mineral, the nickel part, or you can acquire the mines. And there's a lot of exploration going on in India also to establish nickel mines. So that will be only way left when, once the QCO is implemented.
Thank you.
Okay. Next question. Sir, we come back to you. We're going that. My friend Mr. Manoj is there on the extreme there. Yes. And then you please come to sir on the front row. Yes.
Hi, good afternoon. Manoj Sharda from Triple M Metal Canada. So my question is Mr. Vishal as well as Mr. Hughes that everyone is talking about green aluminum, whereas we are not able to see the rise in intrinsic value of the scrap which you have been buying, whereas the same thing is happening in aluminum scrap when the intrinsic values have risen from somewhere close to 80% to now up to close to 90-95%. Whereas on stainless part, we are seeing the intrinsic value falling. Means couple of years back, we were getting close to 80% and we had gone up to like 60%. So do you see a long journey for green aluminum still? And the second question is that how do you see the Trump threat for moving US out of Davos agreement? So do you see the European part as well as the Southeast Asian part playing a crucial role for green aluminum, this one stainless? Thank you.
Manoj, you were talking about aluminium or stainless? Because I got a bit confused.
No, basically what I mean to say, the green aluminum and the green stainless, the aluminum part we are getting intrinsic values increase. The spreads are
so
getting
you are
tighter.
drawing a correlation with respect to
Absolutely.
aluminium.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay. So look, effectively, when we price our finished steel, there are two ways to it. Either we can price it as per the cost of the incoming raw material, or we can price it as per the price which customer is ready to pay for the finished goods, right? And obviously the second way mostly wins. If the customer is not willing to pay a higher price, then obviously no mill or no processor can keep on buying a higher priced raw material. So probably when you look at from the LME point of view, yes, the payouts or the intrinsic values have not increased, but at the same time we also need to look at it from the point of view of reverse working, wherein we have to work reverse from what we get, what price we are getting, or we can say that what payout we are getting in our FG. So then only we have to work backwards and price the scrap.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. You want to add a comment?
So I agree. I think in the end, it depends. You are a trader. In the end, a mill is a company that's also buying and selling. If you can price the material according to your sales, you are also able to price it higher. But you also have to give that back to the market. You understand? So that if I buy something at XYZ, I have a margin, I can produce it and sell it at a price which is higher, then we can also pay a higher price. That's it as it is. But at BR we also have several times we had an analyst from Austria. He always said that by the introduction of nickel pig iron, the LME price went down from, let's say, 90% to 80%, more or less. After the integrated mills, an integration of stainless steel mills using NPI, the price was around 70%. Of course, it's not written in stone, so the prices, it's always depending on supply and demand, so it can fluctuate. But again, it has to be in line with what you can sell.
Okay.
Correct.
Can we, yeah, yeah. Can we move it to sir in the front row? Yes. Can we give him the mic?
Yes, thank you very much for all the presentations and this. I'm first time in this event. My name is Heikki Ranta. I am from South Korea. 36 years over there. Last 24 years working with recycling, producing grapple cranes for the recycling industry. We have thousands of recyclers which are basically small collecting stainless steel among other metals and materials. And now I represent the Indo-Korea Business Center here in Delhi. But my question actually related to the China is the biggest producer according to your Jindal presentation. And I really like to balance and support India because I feel China is kind of a big dragon around there and I want to have a balance to it. So is there a way, how can I help you to increase India, a bigger player as a stainless steel producer than China who have 60%? And actually, I have several, as I have been supplying grapple cranes to Korea, I know about 100 of stainless steel collectors also at the moment. There would be scrap available from Korea. So if somebody interested, I can introduce them. But actually, when I saw the presentation, I was really surprised. Why is China so big? And what can we do to make India much bigger?
That's a very interesting take. No, as you see, everybody has an individual take. How I look at it, India is growing. We want to be the best, but if China is doing better, we are okay with it as long as our industry is not suffering. Okay, so China has, of course, the largest stainless steel producing country. In India also, the mills are really coming up and in a more organic manner, in a more realistic manner, in a more demand-driven manner. So you see, sir, 2 days in this conference, you're going to meet many mills. So we have JSL here, we have Lexcon here. Tomorrow again, we're going to have some mills. You will find that most of the mills are, none of them is projecting that they will go at an astronomical pace. They will grow as per the demand, organically, keeping in mind domestic market requirements as well as their export orders. So, of course, Indian producers are present in all the global trade shows and our products are being exported to the European markets. Am I right, Mr. Hughes, Mr. Vishal? And so, participation in events like this is really helping us. MRAI will organize its next international conference probably in Malaysia. Please come and visit us and get us some of your scrap recyclers from Korea also over there. Let us interact with them more and I will get a lot of mills from here and let's see how we can collaborate more to grow. Right, Vishalji? Yes, sir, you want to say something? Please. Please, sir.
China, if you compare India and China, China has now stagnated and India is growing. So there's opportunity in India. So, but the focus is to make India self-reliant. We know that South Korea has cutting-edge technology in stainless steel field and they are making some specialty steel also. But importing from any country is a big no from India. Our main focus is to make India self-reliant. So the opportunity lies here that if you collaborate with some Indian partner and set up a cutting-edge technology production here, then you can get, basically that will be win-win situation because you will get expert manpower that will be cheap and you will get a ready-made market where that can be supplied because the demand is more than what the capacity is presently.
Great. So, yeah, please.
I'd like to add one small remark. What you said was very interesting, but there is a difference in the character. And so just to give you an example, last year, despite China being stagnant, Chinese economy suffering, China became world's largest exporter. China exported $3.8 trillion worth of goods. India exported only $800 billion. So China exported the goods to the amount of totality of Indian GDP. India has to do a lot before it can beat China. Please.
Yes, yes. But thank you for your spirit. We welcome such views. Thank you so much. Anyone from the audience has any more questions? Yes, I have a question from ma'am there, please. I think this is going to be the last one. MRI staff is after me. Yes, ma'am. Please introduce yourself. Yes.
Yeah, hello, I am Vaibhavi Kejriwal from Nursing Mercantile Private Limited. So we import and trade coal, coke and scrap and other minerals. So thank you so much for such an insightful and intriguing session. So I wanted to ask something about the 3D printing of stainless steel. Like you said, it is one of the future upcoming norms. So what do you think it would be more lucrative on which side of the table? Someone who is trying to sell it because it would come at a premium, but they would have the creativity to do a lot more with it, or someone who is trying to buy it because again there's premium to it.
I was expecting somebody who's going to talk about that. So I think Vishalji can reconfirm 50% of the stainless steel uses for the aesthetic things.
Percent is yes, definitely. People prefer it using because it looks good, right?
Right. So, for example, if I have if I want to make a beautiful stainless steel door or a gate for my house, that would be very easily to produce through 3D printing technology rather than in something. So, the beginning will be for the aesthetic use, and then will be the complex tools. So, for example, the way we are growing, right? We would need so different kind of materials, so different kind of mixtures into a material that it would be very difficult to produce in a factory, rather than it would be very easy to produce in a 3D printing. So, for example, if you need to produce something stainless steel together with aluminium, yeah, this chemistry does not work in a melt shop, but if you put two powders together, powder of 304 and powder of aluminium, it can forge something very interestingly. So this is where these innovations will come, the medical equipments, the tools, the complex things. And a lot of 3D printing is still in laboratory stage. But 50 years ago, the lab-grown diamond was also remained in laboratory for 50 years. But in last 20 years, it had almost eaten 70% of the diamond industry.
Great, great, great. On this thought, let me tell you a small joke, okay? It was evening 4 p.m. I was negotiating a scrap deal with him, Vishalji, and the difference was of $10. And I kept the phone down that, okay, I'm not gonna make that deal of $10 difference, okay? I went back to my home. My father was getting installed a new gate of stainless. And that guy opened the cover and it said JSL. I took a hit, okay, JSL is here. Same day in the evening, I went to my sister's house for dinner. She had a new lift which was being installed. Again, she wrapped the cover off. Again, it was showing JSL. In the late night evening, I confirmed the deal to him that, okay, I can't run away from JSL. Stainless is going to be a very important part of our aesthetics. So, you know, that's something which is very, very real. I saw somebody raising a hand more. I just have time for only one short question, very short question. Okay, I'll give you both a chance. First you, sir, then you, Jayaprakash. Sir, please. Okay, the mic is with here. Jayaprakash, please. Short question, please.
Thank you, sir. I am Jayaprakash Sahu from Big Mint. I have a very short question. Already Honorable Joint Secretary has answered it. Again, just for the clarification for the audience, I want to ask you. Is there any quality control order or BIS coming in stainless steel semi-finished form like slabs and billet or in NPI? If it is coming, when we can expect it? Yeah. Thank you.
It is already under implementation. It will come very soon. BIS is already there. QCO has been issued and it will be implemented soon.
Okay, great. For sir, excuse me, for sir.
Really
please.
sorry. Is this will be the mandatory BIS or it will be optional? Yeah.
That is what I said. Once the QCO is issued, then for importing anything under QCO, you need NOC from Ministry of State.
So, sir, please, excuse me, can you pass on the mic? Yes. Quick one, sir.
Hi, my name is Akash Chauhan and I'm from Jai Bharat Impex, Mumbai. We are into processing and supply of stainless steel. My question to the panel are, India is the second largest producer of stainless steel globally. What best practices from other countries can India adopt to improve its recycling ecosystem and ensure circular economy principle to boost the economy? Thank you.
I think it's a very general and open-ended question, if I'm not wrong. Anybody wants to take this? Yeah, sir, you want to take it? Okay.
In fact, this is in continuation to what Ved Prakash ji told, that in next 20 years we'll have our CBAM and our lot of enforcing acts and notifications. I fully agree with him that the ecosystem will evolve in such a way that it will itself promote the circularity, because the circularity has got the great advantage that it produces less carbon dioxide. And the 20-year period is very long. In fact, it is coming within 10 years. And in very subtle way, the things are getting formulated, like green steel taxonomy has been formulated, where we define what will be the green steel. And we define a limit below which you produce carbon dioxide, that will be called green steel. Now the demand has to be created. So government is coming with a mandate where in all public procurements, there will be certain percentage which is to be procured as green steel, that necessarily should be the green steel. And from there the circularity will come into the picture. Then there's a CCTS is also coming, that is like the CBAM. And CCTS will be enforced by 26 or 27. 27 it will come into the picture, where the emission, base emission will be fixed for every large manufacturer, every manufacturing unit. If you produce more than that baseline, you'll be penalized, and if you produce less than that, then you'll get some incentive on that. You can basically trade that in the market like the CBAM. So the ecosystem, in a subtle way, it's evolving like that. The circularity will be important, and the people who are producing through scrap will certainly get advantage because they are emitting less carbon dioxide.
Okay, thank you so much. So with this, we would like to call an end to this wonderful, wonderful session. Thank you all the speakers. Thank you so much. Now, I would now like to call on stage Gopalji. Sir, please come and give the guest of honor trophies. Please, can we have the souvenirs, please, one by one? I would request, I'll call some people from audience also. Gopalji, please come. Sanjay ji will give special one. Yeah. Trophy to Shri Tripathi ji. Gopal ji, please. To Tripathi ji. Yes. Okay. Gopal ji, please give a special speaker memento to Vishal ji, please. Gopal ji. नहीं करा. Yes. Yes. I'd like to call my dear friend Mr. Mahiya Patel from Tonimet to please come and give. Please, photo के लिए रुकिए ना. हाँ. Please Mahiya ji, please come. You have a very good friend and enemy in former Mr. Hust. You'll give to him. Cronimet and Oryx. Brothers made forever. Please come. Please come. Yes. To Mr. Hust, please. Yes. Yes. Mayarji, I'll request you to give it to ma'am. Ma'am also, ma'am Vidisha ji also from BIS. Please. Ma'am. Okay. Yogesh ji ko bula. Yes. I'll request Yogesh ji, sir, please come and give a trophy to Shri Ved Prakash ji. Yes. Yogesh ji is president of IFA, All India Induction Furnace Association. Sir, please. Trophy, please. Ready हो गया? हाँ, देखिए आओ. Ready? Okay. So, I think we have amongst ourselves a special guest, Shri Neeraj Kanji. Sir, CEO of Mukund. Sir, I'd like to call you on stage. Our president, Mr. Sanjay Mehta ji, noticed you and he wanted to give you a special recognition award for contribution of Mukund to stainless steel industry. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Mukund is a pioneering company and a very good key player in stainless steel industry, sir. Welcome, welcome, sir. Welcome. We are delighted to have you. Gopal ji and Sanjay ji, I'll request you, please. Please. Entire team of Mukund is here. Sir, we thank you very much for your support. Thank you. Any photo. I'll request everyone to join for a big photo. Ladies and gentlemen, our next session is at Mugda